I'm so glad to be back here on YouTube. It has been a rough couple of weeks, let me tell you. Welcome if you are new. My name is Veronica. I'm a wife and mama to 8 kids now. If you haven't seen my last video, or my last post on the community, I posted that I had my baby at 32 weeks. And he is still in the NICU, but these past couple of weeks have been pretty rough. They had to put him on oxygen. They put him in the little cubicle incubator thing. And he was having a hard time with his feedings. He's got a little feeding tube through his nose, so they were giving him my breast milk with a milk fortifier, which I am assuming it is formula, just to help him gain weight. And for the last couple of weeks, his weight was like coming down. It would go down and then go back up just like a little bit, and then come back down and then go back up, and then just kept going down for a couple of days. And so the doctor changed his milk fortifier, so they switched his his formula that they were giving him, and that has seemed to be working. So now his weight has been going up for the last couple days, which is very exciting. He is now at 4 pounds and 5 ounces as of today, and today is June 17th. Monday's June 17th. So his weight has been going up. They actually took him out of his little incubator, and they put him in a regular crib now. And he is also, they were going to take his oxygen off today to see how he does. They took it away a couple days ago, and he didn't do so good, so they put the oxygen back up. The next big thing is him getting to breastfeed. They have been giving him pacifiers so he can suck. So he kind of learns how to suck, I guess. I mean, he sucks his fingers fine that I've seen. But the next milestone is to get him to breastfeed. So I am very excited about that. They said hopefully sometime this week we can start doing that. So I am very excited about that. You saw in my last video that I had gone to the hospital because I thought my water had broke, and they said it wasn't my water. Well, on Tuesday of that week, which is the day that I had posted that video, I had a doctor's appointment. So I had woken up and I was like super wet. So I was like, I'm going to my doctor's. I might as well tell him. So I told him what was going on, and he's like, well, I'm going to send you to the emergency room to get checked out. And then they did my cervical check. They did a test to see if it was my water, and blood work and everything. Well, turned out that the test for the amniotic fluid came back positive. So the nurse came in real quick, and she tells me, so she comes in and she says, your water is broken. They're going to fly you out to Phoenix. And I was like, oh my goodness, my husband wasn't there. I had 2 kids with me there. So my husband quickly came down, and I told him what was happening. And I told him, I was like, they're going to fly me out to Phoenix. Go home, pack some bags, and start driving, because it's about a 3.5-hour drive from our house. So he does that. As soon as we get to before I left the hospital, actually, they gave me a shot to stop my contractions because I was having irregular contractions that they had shown in the monitor. And about an hour later, they got me on the helicopter and flew me down there. Anyways, about halfway down our flight, the nurse gave me another shot to stop my contractions. She kept telling me, every time you have a contraction, raise your hand. And it seemed like I was raising my hand every 3 to 5 minutes. So she gave me another shot to stop my contractions. We finally get to the hospital, and the doctor comes in and he says, I am no longer going to give you any more shots to stop the contractions. He says, we don't know how long your water has been broken. So he's like, I'd rather have a baby come early than have a baby get an infection because we don't know how long the water's been broken. So I stay there all night, and then that night they give me 3 rounds of antibiotics, 2 rounds through my IV and 1 round at uphill. So the next day about noon, that's when they gave me the shots. It was the next day at around noonish. So around noonish, as soon as they gave me that 3rd round of antibiotics, that pill that I swallowed, I start feeling contractions to where I can feel the baby coming down. And the nurse comes in and she checks me and she goes, okay, you're at a 4. Let me go call the doctor and I'll be back in an hour. So I told her, you can't be back in an hour. My labors go by really quick. So she comes back in 30 minutes and checks me again, and I was at a 6 already at about 12:30. So she goes and she says, I'm going to call the NICU team. So the NICU team comes and they're sitting there talking to me, explaining what's going to happen after the baby while I'm having these pretty big contractions. And then as soon as that is over, the nurse comes in and she says, do you want the epidural? And I go, no, I'm fine. This is going to go by quick. My labors usually go by quick. So after the NICU team finishes talking, they rush me into the operating room because they wanted me to deliver in there just in case the baby's heart rate, because the baby's heart rate kept coming down that night with each contraction. So they just wanted to make sure that baby was okay, or in case I needed a C-section, I was right in the operating room. Thank God I did not need a C-section or anything. Baby came naturally in 3 pushes. He came out crying beautifully and happy. They let me hold him for about a minute or so, and we got a couple of pictures, and then they took him to the NICU. But I am glad everything went well with the delivery. It went pretty quick, which is normal for me and all my deliveries. I deliver pretty quick. But it has been one heck of a ride. Oh, let me tell you baby's name. I did not tell you his name. So we named him Misael, which means as God is. And my husband actually picked that name out. We did not have a name previously. I actually had a list of baby boy names. We did not know the gender, so but somehow I did not pick any girl names. All I had was boy names. And I kept telling you, it's going to be a boy. And I knew it was going to be a boy because of my heartburn. I have gotten heartburn with all of my boys, and that did not change with this pregnancy either. Anyways, his name is Misael Tadeo, and Tadeo is a name that I picked out, which means God's gift. And I think that is a perfectly good name for him. I am so glad that he is actually perfectly healthy. He's fine. He was just born early, you know, a couple months early. So he is still in the NICU. He's probably going to be there until I'm assuming that until he is full term. But we are actually in Phoenix at the Ronald McDonald House. We are not at the same one that we were last time. But we're here. We're going to stay here until, I don't know when, until he gets out. I've got my husband and 4 kids with me. My 3 oldest stayed behind. But it's been quite the journey. So I thank you for your prayers, and thank you for thinking of us, because it has been rough. The ups and downs. It seems like finally, after almost 20 days of being here, he is finally like upscaling. So I also had a few people ask me about a baby registry. I am working on that still. I've never done a baby registry before, so I don't know kind of how to post it on YouTube, but I will figure it out. I'm going to try to link it in the video description down below, but if I don't, just be patient with me. I'm still learning. I probably won't be making a video like I normally did, 3 times a week. It's probably going to be more like maybe once a week, if even that. It's been fun. We've just been here with the kids. We go see our baby every single day. We obviously can't take the kids to see him, but my husband stays with the kids and I go see him, and then he comes and stays with the kids and he goes and sees them. Oh yes, and I have like a birth video type of thing that I will post on Wednesday. Kind of like this, basically the same thing that I just did, except for I had started to vlog the day that I had my doctor's appointment. It's kind of like a vlog type of birth story, I guess. So stay tuned for that. Basically the same things that I just told you, but that will be coming out on Wednesday. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your prayers, and I will see you on Wednesday.